Hey guys, this is a market update. I want to look at how Bitcoin is trading with everything that's going on, how it is becoming uncorrelated with what the stock market is doing, which is a good sign for Bitcoin. Obviously, there's some things at play right here with Bitcoin that make it genuinely a different asset than investing in a tech stock, right? So Bitcoin has been correlated to the NASDAQ, essentially falling along with it over these last few months. But we're in a different scenario right now. And so there's a lot to think about. Bitcoin has, been flat over the last 7 days, which is a minor miracle, to be totally honest, with what's going on. Now, there's reasons for this. Essentially, with what's going on, the market now believes that central banks around the world, specifically the Fed, aren't going to raise interest rates as hard or as fast as before. And with that basically comes a level of inflation. And obviously, that's good for Bitcoin. Now, the harder the Fed is with interest rates and trying to dampen demand, that's not good for Bitcoin because Bitcoin trades as a kind of risk on asset right now. But there is an element here that people are using it for different things, including essentially making payments and trying to get out of currencies like the ruble that are actually collapsing right now. And we can see some data on that. I want to come over to the Bitcoin chart and just give you these two scenarios that I'm looking at. I believe that the macro environment is making technical analysis somewhat redundant right now. Okay, so you can't make a prediction on the price based on technicals. There's obviously like a war, right? So it's just not going to trade on technicals. But here's what's happening, and we need to try and figure out what the levels are, and then what we can make a decision on the macro, what's happening in the macro, and what will happen to the price after that, right? So look, here's the kind of the bare version of this. You have a head and shoulders right here. You have a shoulder, you have the head, and then you have the shoulder here. This means we're going to reject off this resistance. I'm obviously going to move down. We can actually work this out as well. So you can put a line between kind of the head and then the lower part of one of the shoulders, move that down from where we are now, puts us around about where this support is at 30,000. Okay, so that's kind of a bear for me. If you were a bear, you would be looking at that head and shoulders play. If you're a bull, however, you can see that Bitcoin has actually done pretty well over these last few days with incredible uncertainty. What you can see is a potential double bottom falling right here. Okay, with actually higher lows and higher highs. We are testing resistance right here, and if something good happens, some sort of peace treaty or something, that would definitely see us moving up to new resistance levels. Obviously, good doesn't mean Bitcoin price going up. For me, it's much more important about actually having peace in that region and everything like that. So all my thoughts go out to everyone there, of course. That's much more important than the Bitcoin price. But you're an investor, right? And if you're in Bitcoin, obviously you're looking to see what will happen. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and trade on Bybit, as you can see, I'm using. They'll give you a deposit bonus in your futures trading account up to $4,000. So if you want to go ahead and trade, just click that link in the description and go through, and you can see that. What I want to kind of look at now is between the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ, right? You can see they're all off in the futures markets. They're set to open up around 1% lower. Bitcoin is somewhat flat. Okay, so that correlation isn't kind of there today over the last few days. The correlation has been the NASDAQ's down 1%, Bitcoin's down 3 or 4%. That's been the correlation, but you can see that correlation is not there anymore. Okay, so that something's happening here, right? So some people are moving over to Bitcoin for whatever reason. Maybe they think that interest rates not going up as hard is going to be good for the price of Bitcoin. And some people are genuinely thinking with maybe uncertainty, we're actually going to just switch into Bitcoin. That could be money that is in crypto going to Bitcoin, could be other people just putting fresh money in as well, including people in areas that are having their currency completely wrecked. And I'll show you that data right now. So interesting here that Bitcoin is not a tech stock. It sometimes has correlation with those, but there are other aspects to it that prevent it from having that 100% correlation. So yeah, interesting. And I think because of these reasons, it's a fantastic asset to diversify your portfolio. Also an update on the crypto course for everyone that is in the crypto course. I've got about 10 or 12 videos coming for you guys next month. They'll be here in the middle of March, I think. So a couple of weeks, you'll get about 10 or so new videos on Ethereum scaling solutions. and some other trading videos as well. So that will be coming for free for you. If you want to check out the Crypto Investor course, I'll leave that linked in the description. One of the reasons why I think that Bitcoin is doing okay is because interest rate expectations have completely flipped. So as we know, the Fed was going to raise rates and the market was competing with itself to be even more hawkish than any other market participant. They're going to raise rates 87 times. They're going to raise rates by 1% initially. That's all flipped, right? Okay, it's all gone now. So what we can see is that the market does expect them to raise rates, but only by 25 basis points this month. Obviously, with what's going on, usually central banks will become a little bit looser with monetary policy, lower rates, print money, but that's obviously been happening for 2 years, and so they got really nowhere else to go. They do kind of have to raise rates, but the market is way above this anyway, so the Fed has to do this. It's not really any difference because real interest rates are already at 1.9%, so the Fed's way behind, totally behind, and they need to start doing this. But obviously the market thinks over the long term this year they're not going to raise rates as much this year, they're not going to tighten as much this year as they would have previously if the macro geopolitical situation hadn't happened like that. One other thing I want to come to, Bitcoin is a useful asset. Okay, so what you're seeing is ruble Bitcoin trading activity spike. This is what, 10, 15x what it usually is. Okay, so people that have seen the ruble fall in value by 30% against the dollar, they've been told that their money is no longer theirs. They can't access it. They can't take it out of the bank. All of this stuff. This is what Bitcoin, is for, right? So when you're in a place where you're told your money is no longer good or you can't take it out, obviously people are going towards Bitcoin. And you could potentially see it rise up there as maybe a secondary, actually day-to-day tradable asset that people can use for, bartering between participants in the economy. Bitcoin is and was invented as peer-to-peer cash, and people are putting their money into something that can't be controlled or taken away from them. So very interesting to see that, obviously. Quite sad as well, obviously, with what's going on, right? So people are kind of moving over to Bitcoin as something that kind of in a kind of desperate move, right? So yeah, not great to see in terms of the human aspects of it. That is where I see Bitcoin right now. As I said, if you want to get up to $4,000 as a deposit bonus on Bybit, check that link in the description. If you want to check out the Crypto Investor course and the private Discord groups, they will be they're linked in the Crypto Investor course as well. There's a public group as well, and I'll link that as a pinned comment. I'm James with MoneyZG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.